be flowing. I'll be starting from how one of my mentors taught me to approach a topic of discussion, and that is by defining the key terms. Uh, like I said, the topic is growing your business knowledge, and the key terms here are just basically three words for me. You have growing, business, and knowledge. And I want to believe that we are not, these words are not strange to us, they are familiar. And for some of us, we use them on a daily basis. But in this context, or in today's training, what exactly do I mean by growing your business knowledge? Let's look at the first key item here, which is growing or growth. Here, it means undergoing development, and as a result, increasing in size and changing physically. It also means becoming greater, not remaining on the same, spot, not remaining in the same size as the case may be. To increase, growth also means to increase. And secondly, business. Business. I like this definition. I stumbled on it some time ago while I was doing some study, and it says an economic system where goods and services are exchanged for value. And I want us to look at these keywords. That system, take note of those words. I should be coming back to talk on them later on. We have system, we have exchange, and we have value. Business is an economic system where goods and services are exchanged. For some of us, we are in the service sector where all we do is render services and get paid for it. For some of us, we are in the goods sector where we probably sell items or we manufacture to meet certain needs and exchange value for what we do. The next is knowledge. There is a common saying that knowledge is power, and for me, I'm quick to broad over statements when I hear them. Brought over them because I believe that everything can be improved upon. And when I stumbled on the statement, knowledge is power, I asked myself, is knowledge really power? What of those who have example of people who are called professors? This is no intention to discredit professors, but people who are professors and don't control things sort of in the academic sector. We have a lot of professors. We have people who have done well in the academia, but their names are not popular. So the definition that I have here says fact, knowledge has to do with facts, information, skills acquired through experience or education. It also means awareness of familiarity gained by experience of the fact or situation. For those of us who do business, you get to have better knowledge of your business as each day passes by. And for some of us, we want to, at the start, have some basic knowledge or some basic information. I want to be aware of what exactly we are going into has to offer. Just before I came online, I was interacting with somebody, an elderly friend, and she was telling me that she's currently in the market, that she's on her own. She had left her job, her former job, and I was asking why. She said that it's a story for another day. That is to tell us that people are either switching or people want to want to acquire more skills. People want to be in the know. One of my mentors will say, if you are not in the know, you can't be in the flow. So being in the flow means you have to you have to know exactly what you are doing. Let's take a closer look at this statement. And it says, learning to run a business the right way takes a strong amount of dedication to reading, understanding, and meeting potential mentors. Strictly for me, this zeroes in on the place of personal development. Personal development, for me, I define it as anything that you do that adds value to you, any activity that you involve yourself in that adds value to you. And in business, it's not. In business, it is the same. In whatever business you do, it is important that you develop yourself, you develop capacity. The more capacity you develop, the more respect you gain, the more value you add to your business, the more value you add to yourself. So learning to run a business the right way takes a strong amount of dedication to reading. Whether you like it or not, you have to read, you have to study about the business. That is why, for instance, if you go to school, let me call it the business of learning, which many of us have a basic foundation from India while we were in school. Before you could promote from one class to another, you had to meet certain criteria. You had to pass some subjects. You had to meet up to the standard. And it is expected that you read, you commit yourself to reading. Because if you are caught sitting in the exam hall, or here is your case, you also, apart from reading, have to understand. You have to seek to understand. So that is another level. And apart from that, you go to the level of having a mentor, people you can interact with, people who have been in that line of business or who are in that line of career that you want to draw from their wealth of experience. For me, I have quite a number of them around me, be it in the media space, where I have my background in, be it in the business, as a member of Green Mondays. I have people I look up to. I study them from afar. Some of them don't know, but we interact, and I get to understand their philosophy about business. I get to understand their ideology and their approach and strategy. Some of us, we exchange ideas from time to time, trying to know what you are doing and why it is working for you. All of those things are very important in business growth. They are very important in business growth. So knowledge, like I said, for many people who believe knowledge is power, it is actually the application of that knowledge that makes a difference between a novice and somebody who is seen as a guru or who is seen as a don. I came across this statement in Bill Gates' book titled Business at the Speed of Thought. And it says, do an outstanding job with information. That is, how you gather, manage, and use information to determine whether you will win or lose. At times, you see a lot of people showcase knowledge. When they speak, you know that this person knows. But when it comes to following up what they know with action, you begin to see problems. And you want to wonder why, you want to ask yourself why they remain in the same spot or why they have refused to grow. It's not as if people don't seek to know. It's not as if people don't have certain ideas about how things work. But the major challenge is they are not backing up that knowledge with action. So somebody is saying here that you should do an outstanding job. Do an outstanding job which will culminate into your growth with the knowledge. Do an outstanding job with the knowledge that you gather make sure you manage them properly and use those information in such a way that your business will get the best out of it. And growing your business implies that you are constantly and continuously updating yourself about happenings in your line of business. You are in the know. You are aware. You are polishing your skills. You are not where you used to be. You know, where you were yesterday is not where you are today. So it has to do with constantly committing energy and resources into ensuring that your knowledge does not remain the same. Your knowledge in the business does not remain the same. Your knowledge in any field that you are operating does not remain the same. For me, for instance, being somebody who is in the media world and I've authored a few books, one of the things that I do when I read is I don't just look out for the information in those books that I'm reading. I look out for the strategies that the author or the person who wrote the book employs. For instance, how is this person passing across the information they are trying to pass across? What strategies are they employing? Are they using storytelling? Are they using practical life experiences? I also look out for the quality of the material I'm reading, the quality of presentation, what kind of paper, what is the font size, what is the font color. All of these things come to play in the quality of whatever it is, and it also shows the kind of person that you are and how much you are committed to growth. It shows how much you are committed to growth. You know, there's one quote that I stumbled on a long time ago, and it says the desire to succeed is an indication that you can succeed. I was like, wow, really? If desires was all it takes that one can succeed, then many people would be Dangote, many people would be Bill Gates, many people would be Otedola. But it takes more than desire to succeed. It takes more than desire. And at this point, I want to ask the question: how much do you want that growth in your business? How much do you want that growth? Yes, you desire it. The fact that we are here is an indication that we desire growth. We want to evolve. We want to see improvement in our business. We want more sales. We want more customers. You know, we want more. We want more. We want to see significant improvement. We want to see physical growth. We want to reach out to more customers. We want to have more team members. We want to have more downlines. We want to increase our earnings. We want more. We want more. But the question is, how much do you want it? And how much do you want it? It's not just about you writing down those goals. It's not about you just, saying it or confessing it or believing it. Yes, it's good to believe, but away from that, you have to do more than believe. You have to commit yourself to it. You have to follow up your desire with action, because nobody. And that explains why you see many people who are doing fine in their business. It's all because they have committed themselves to it. Nobody was born a business guru. Nobody was born a superman. Everybody who has become super in their field today did so because they committed themselves to growth. They embraced growth and did what was necessary. They did what was required of them. They didn't just study, they didn't just learn, they didn't just improve their skills, but they put those skills, those principles into practice. And there's one thing about nature. Nature will always honor people who follow principles. Nature will always honor people who follow principles. It will honor them with results, it will honor them with improvement, it will honor them with value. So every super or successful business person you see today are products of commitment to growth. They are products of commitment to growth. They are examples of people who value growth and have made the required sacrifices. So I want to encourage us, let's just not desire it. Let's not just desire it. Let us do much more than that. Let us commit ourselves to it. Let us sacrifice. Yes, it's not easy. Like they say, Rome was not built in a day. Rome was not built in a day because it requires commitment, it requires It wanted to test the commitment of the people. It needed to test their consistency. It needed to test how much they are willing to sacrifice to build, and how much they really want the growth that they claim they want. How much do they really want the growth that they have desired? So, and the next question I want to ask here is, you have to clarify what your why is. Why are you going into that business? Why are you going into that business? Is it just because of the money? Is it because of fame? Is it because it is doing well? This COVID period has come to show the kind of businesses. It has opened our eyes to the business, to certain businesses that will thrive regardless of what is happening. Many sectors have been hit. I was I was at a meeting recently with some friends, and we got talking, and a particular mention was made of a businessman who started up in the photography session. But after building his wealth, after building his business in that sector, he at some point diversified. If you look clearly at the likes of Dangote, they are moving from one business to another, and they are leveraging on a particular success to build other businesses. And that is what growth can do for you. When you really understand the fact that why you are in business is to meet certain needs. If you remember the definition we talked about the other time, business is about exchanging value, exchanging goods and services for value. You must be concerned with the kind of value that you want to meet. You must be concerned with the kind of value that you want to give out to people. What are you exchanging? What are you exchanging? In Green Mondays, one of the things we are exchanging is that we are developing capacity. We are connecting people. We are inspiring people. We are helping people to reach out for their dreams, and we are helping people to become financially free. We are helping people to build businesses, putting structures in place. We are helping people to leverage on many things. We are providing opportunities for people to leverage on. So you must clarify why you are going into the business you are going into. If you don't clarify the why, it will be difficult for you to measure your success. It will be difficult for you to measure your growth. And it will be difficult for you to know how and how not to behave. It will be difficult for you to know what is important and what is not important. It will be difficult for you to know the kind of people to mingle with. It will be difficult for you to know what steps to take at what point in time. It will also be difficult for you to measure growth. So you must clarify what your why is. Why are you going into that business? What are the problems you want to solve? What are the kind of values you want to exchange? All of these things are very important. Why are you in that field as a business person? Why are you in that field as somebody who sells? Why are you in that field as somebody who renders services? All of these things are very important. They go a long way to influence our business growth. They go a long way to influence our business growth. There's one thing many of us take for granted, and it is the relationship. The kind of business that we do, for me personally, has helped me to probe more into the value in the circle of influence that I have. It has helped me to really look at how much value can I extract from this relationship? How much value can I exchange? What more can I get from this relationship? And those are the kind of questions we need to be asking ourselves. Those are the kind of questions that clarifying our why would help us to deal with early enough. I have here some tips, that will help aid our business growth. And one is committing, which I've talked on earlier on. One is committing ourselves to personal development. Committing ourselves to personal development. Committing yourself to personal development means reading, doing researches, asking questions, having mentors, doing every activity that is required, setting those goals and going beyond setting those goals, researching on how you would make sure those goals become realities. These things are very important. Those days where while I was yet to publish my first book, one of the things I did was to go online to check out some of the online communities where writers gather, exchange ideas, and from time to time, while I was posting there, I was looking at feedback and all of these things I was putting together to ensure that I was improving myself. Secondly, is you need to get a mentor. You need a mentor. You need a business mentor. If you want to do well in business, if you want your business to grow, you need a mentor. You need somebody who has gone ahead of you, who can put you through, somebody you can ask questions from time to time, somebody who has the technical know-how about businesses, so that you are properly guided, so that you don't take wrong decisions. There are some business decisions that you need to take, that you need to inquire from people who have gone ahead of you. And having a mentor will help you to avert some of those pitfalls. In one of his books, Ben Carson stated some of the parameters he puts into consideration before taking any decision, and I think there are 4. One is the best thing that will happen if you take that decision. The second is the worst thing that will happen if you take that decision. The third is what is the best thing that will happen if I do not take that decision. And the fourth is what is the worst thing that will happen if I do not take that decision. And that leads me to the third point here on the tips of how to grow your business, and that is improving your interpersonal skills. In as much as you are not going to be dealing with robots, in as much as you are not going to be dealing with ghosts, even if you are going to be dealing with ghosts, you still need to polish your interpersonal skills so that you know how to relate with ghosts, so that you know the kind of language that will be appealing to them, so that you know how to win their hearts, so that you know how to exchange values with them. So it is important as a business person who wants to grow, who wants more, to improve their interpersonal skills. You need to understand how to win customers. And 4 is the act of that business itself. You must understand it. You must understand the nature. What is the nature of the kind of business you are going into? For we at Dream Monday, we are in the wellness and network marketing sector. For me, it's been a learning experience. I've been learning. From time to time, we have trainings. From time to time, we interact within ourselves. I discuss with my upline. I discuss with my team members. We exchange ideas. We exchange strategies. These are all in the nature. This is all for us to have a better understanding of the nature of business that we are into. I've never done network marketing before until I joined Dream Monday. And for me, I've been learning. And one of the things for me is that it has helped me to become a better person. And also, it is important for us to invest in that business. If you want anything to grow, you must invest in it. Investment in this time means you invest your energy, you invest your time, you invest into knowing more. You also invest other resources. You also choose and build your customer base. To grow, you must choose carefully, because it is not every person, it is not every customer that is your customer. You must know your customer. And that comes with growth. You must know the kind of person you can relate with. What exactly do they want? How do I meet this need? And the last tip here that I want to share is you must be customer focused. You must be customer centric. It is not all about profit. If you look at the definition that I gave earlier on, it's about value. It's about the value you are exchanging. What value are you bringing on board? People will forget about how much they pay for a particular product if they get the value they were looking for. They can even afford to pay more. they can afford to refer, they can afford to pay more. So you must define what your values are, and build with that in mind. Define what your values are and build with your values in mind. Let them form the foundation of your business growth. And so some of the business values, I just picked at random. There are more than this. For some people, it's integrity. For some people, quality. For some people, love. For some people, determination. For some people, innovation. For others, respect. For some, excellence. So you must identify what your values are. And for me, I define values, which are from time to time I try to share with people from a unique perspective. I define values as an acronym, which means vision. Vision. That's why I said you must build with them. You must build with vision. You must picture the kind of future that you want for your business. And that is what will help you to measure your growth. Begin with the end in mind. Define clearly what you want from that business. For me, one of the reasons why I joined Green Mondays was that I wanted to get some things that, for me, I would have spent more money getting. And one of them, which I've been able to achieve, and I'm still looking forward to achieving more, is free travel, all expenses paid, And for me, it's like a dream come true, because for a long time, that's one of the dreams that I've lost. That the first international trip I would have, or the first time I would board I would travel by plane, it has to be paid for because of the value that I'm exchanging. And the first time I was going to fly, it was paid for. It was paid for by my former employer, and it's because I'd had that picture for a very long time, and I was ensuring that I was developing myself in that line, so that dream, that vision was going to become a reality. And secondly is attitude. No matter what you do, if your attitude is not positive, you can't get much from it. You can't grow. If your attitude is not positive, you can't grow. It will limit. It will be a peg. It will put a peg on how far you can grow in that field. Attitude is very important. Somebody defines attitude as the aroma of your life. It is the aroma of your business. People perceive your attitude before they want to have anything to do with your business. They would have perceived your attitude. There was a day I was in the market with a friend and I wanted to get something. While we were bargaining for, negotiating the price or price reduction, I sensed that it wasn't going down well with the lady, and we moved on. They said the first person that we had met before going to that store, despite the fact that we were really negotiating for a price reduction that was not in her favor, she was still putting on a smile and like, let's leave this other lady and go and meet the person that was smiling. At least, even if we would be paid more, because our attitude was really encouraging, that we were going to patronize her. So our attitude is very important. And the next one, legacy. Whatever business you are doing, people will remember you. If your business was out to solve a problem, people will remember. If your business was out to meet a need, people would remember. And that talks about how useful is your business to people. The business line you are in, what need is it meeting? Is it meeting people's needs? Is it solving problems? Is it meeting any particular challenge or need? So this thing is, all of these things are very important in the foundation stage of our business. These are some of the things we are supposed to have put in place before we decide to pursue that business goal. And also, like I said, information is power. Information is power. It is not just that information that people are saying is power, but the application that they have seen. That is when people will know that you know. It is until they see how much you have demonstrated, how much knowledge that you have demonstrated, that people will say, yes, this person really knows. We respect our teachers in school because of how well they were able to pass across knowledge to us, how well they were able to impact us with what they knew. And also teachers who couldn't meet up to our standard, like there's a way you respect the teachers or lecturers that are teaching you. I remember while I was trying to go for my second degree, I was looking out for a course that would help me polish my communication skills and become a better writer, because at that time I had done my first book, but I needed to share and to exchange knowledge and experience with somebody who had gone ahead of me. So one of the courses that I wanted to, the course that I wanted to do actually was not available. So I saw it as one of the borrowed courses. So I was like, let me go for this course, creative writing. But before, well, after making that decision, I now thought, give it a second thought to go and do a background research. So I tried to ask some questions about the person who was going to be taking that course, and I realized that this person had never written or published any book. And for me, it was a source of concern, because at that stage, what I was looking for was more. So I had to drop that course, because at that point in time, I needed somebody who had the technical know-how of not just theories, but practical, because that for me was the next phase. And this moves me to the next point, which is structure and system. Whatever you are building must be structured. Let's build with a structure, build with system, in such a way that you are thinking beyond yourself. You are thinking how you are going to pass that business across to somebody. You are thinking of the next generation. You are not just thinking of the moment. If you look very closely to some of the businesses that used to fly in those days and are no more, it's because there was no succession plan. Succession plan in business is very important. It's never too late, but it can be late if one does not do the right thing at the right time, so that the business does not die, so that business for you moves. If the succession plan is to move from one business to become a serial entrepreneur, for instance, moving from one business to another, how do you want to do it? How do you map out that strategy to ensure that thing becomes a reality? As I close, I saw this quote from Bill Gates while I was doing some study, and it says manufacturers would differentiate between, manufacturers will differentiate themselves from one another by the sum of how well they design their products as one, how intelligently they use customers' feedback to improve their products and services, and how quickly, that's talking about speed, they can improve their production process, how cleverly they market their product, and how efficiently they manage distribution and their inventories. All of these things put together are the things that will help aid our business growth. So at this point, I would want to say thank you for your time. But before we close, let's have a contribution. If you have something you want to add before I hand over to my boss. There's something you want to add? You can unmute yourself if you have something you want to say. Okay. Any contribution? You can unmute yourself or you can signify. I want a contribution. Growing your business knowledge. I would unmute somebody. Okay, Madam Dupe. You can unmute yourself, man.
Hello, good afternoon.
Let's hear from you before we call it a day.
Yes, I think Adekunle Alashitu want to say something.
Yes, I will.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I thank my friend Adekunle for what he has done. What he's saying is a lot of people, just want to talk about the attitude.
All right. Let's
among ourselves.
Coach Kunle, let's hear from you, Coach Alashi. After Mrs.
Yes.
Dupe.
I'll share after her.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma.
Okay. What I'm saying is that because this is our members forum, and I think we can talk a little bit about the attitude of our members. This business is not a do or die affair. And I want everyone here to understand that. We need to have good attitude towards ourselves. We are family members. I'm not saying, because I've had a lot, and I know that I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty when it comes to attitude, because I treat everybody the same way. And I feel it's right for us to treat every other person, especially the newcomers. They may not know their left from the right. They are guests, they are prospects that are just decided to say, okay, let me join you to do this business. And if they are fortunate to meet somebody that is a bit aggressive or somebody that will not attend to them well, they may be discouraged. And the company is going to lose when it comes to that. And we don't want that. We are all working towards the same goal. Success of this company is success of everybody. So if you take that into our mind when we are dealing with ourselves and our prospects and every other person involved in this business, I think we'll go a long way. Let's not use that attitude of aggressiveness. If you have introduced somebody introduced somebody, a prospect, and is asking you to assist, don't take over that prospect. Don't use your money to register that person. No, it doesn't work that way. You look for your own. Everybody benefits at the end of the day. So that's the only thing I want to keep you, because that's your book. I believe our attitude is very, very important when it comes to relationship in this business. Thank you. That's just what I want to say.
Thank you.
Come here. Now, tell me where your book is.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Dupe. That was spot on. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Adeniran Bamishai, for that awesome presentation. It was spot on. Yeah, and I think that there are quite a number of key highlights to take home from there. But one of the things that I realized as well is the fact that to ensure that we get the core of what today's message is talking about, one will need to be deliberate. To increase your knowledge about your business knowledge, one needs to be very, very deliberate about it. You need to be conscious of the fact that who you are becoming in business is more important than what you are earning. You know, some of us are so focused on what we are earning that we don't pay any attention to who we are becoming. But at the end of the day, who you are becoming is what your best take away from the business, no matter how much you earn from this business, there is no amount of money that cannot fly away. If anybody knows a lot about money, you will know that's the attitude of money. But if you have developed, you have already grown, you have already moved. Okay, none of us can do anything to become children again because we have already grown beyond being a child. Okay, so what will ensure that at any point in time you find yourself down, you can always rise up is the fact that you are not an empty barrel. What is inside you are not an empty bag. What is inside you is content that can always keep you standing. You know, so I think it was a very awesome one by the presenter today, Mr. Adeniran Bamishai. Thank you very much, sir, for what you have shared. And I just had that thought coming to my mind. And thank you for giving me opportunity to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And I have one more person before I hand over to Mr. Ola Daramola. One more person.
Good afternoon, everybody.
All right, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Yeah, thank you, Mr. The King's Pen officer. Yeah, what I want to contribute to what Sister Dupe said, there are times when some of our distributors will not put the new distributors in the right perspective. Well, you might be trying to help them in a way, but you should let them know exactly what you are doing so that when they meet another distributor who will throw more light on this business, they won't feel you have kind of misled them or deceived them. I had an experience, but I had to make that person know that, yeah, the person that introduced you meant well for you. Just keep calm. You don't have to sign up under another person. Just hold on. Ask questions from this person that what exactly do you want me to be doing? How do I grow in this business? And the person will help you, will enlighten you, rather than you saying, you don't understand, you don't know, the person has done you wrong. And it won't be nice of me to now, how will I put it? Say a negative thing about that distributor, because I know the distributor might be working towards something. Excuse me, please. Just like the opportunity given for us to bring in two intending stockists, if you don't explain to that stockist exactly what it is, the person might think maybe you are trying to use that person him or her to sell your products. I don't know if I'm making sense. So it's always better for us to let the cards be put on the table plainly, and every one of us will be on the same page, so that whatever you are hearing from distributor A is what you are hearing from distributor B, and we are all going towards the same goalpost. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for those awesome contributions and those ideas. So at this point, let me welcome my coach, my Oga at the top, Mr. Ola Daramola, to take over and round up the meeting.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Yes, very well, sir.
Okay, as parents, when we give birth to children and our children are doing well, when your child, take for example, writes common entrance and the child is doing well, how will you feel? You feel happy, you feel excited. Okay, I'm so happy to hear Adeniran doing all of this this afternoon, and I'm excited knowing that it's not just him. There are several other people in the room that have heard and listened to him today that will do so much better than he's currently doing today. And I would like to encourage all of us who are currently distributors to ensure that we take this opportunity, run with it, and invite as many prospects as possible, because 6 p.m. today, we are going to have Kike Lomoladeji, doing the same and all of that. I am opportune to see how all of those people are going through the file and ranks in the business, and I'm excited at what is possible. So tomorrow, we'll be talking about possibilities, the potentials, what is possible with this business and all of that. But, before tomorrow, let's enjoy what we have to offer today and be part of what is going on. I'm encouraged with the attendance we have this afternoon, and I'm sure we'll do much better when we come back by 6 p.m. in the evening. And on this note, I would like to hang the boots and say congratulations to everybody that listened to the presentation this afternoon. For this seed that has been sown today will germinate and multiply, and it will be fruitful in our hand in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you, everybody, for making it to this meeting. Do have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God bless you.
you.